Hello, I'm Boone Pickens, Business Hall of Fame class of 2005. I'm here to introduce my friend and the newest member to the Texas Business Hall of Fame, Phil Romano. Phil is a great entrepreneur, restaurateur, not a real good wing shot on the doves, but he's a great guy. He's made a lot of money, lost a little bit from time to time, just like all of us that are entrepreneurs. But Phil, a great guy. Phil has been very generous, almost generous to the fault, with his Hunger Busters campaign, a model program. It is my pleasure to introduce my friend, Phil Romano, to the Business Hall of Fame.
The signs of his success are everywhere. On any given day in America, 200,000 people are eating in one of Phil Romano's creations.
Phil has a Midas touch. I don't know if he has the Midas touch, but it's all a little bit of luck. He's lucky that he is not constrained by the conventional box that so many people think in.
From the modern art he loves to paint, to the restaurants he loves to create, Phil Romano has spent a lifetime thinking out of the box. He grew up in a tight-knit Italian family in upstate New York, and as a young man, cultivated a love for food.
Because I'm in the restaurant business, they think I know how to cook. Well, I'm an eater, not a cooker. I know what good food tastes like, and I get the proper people to make the food taste the way I like it to taste.
He made a splash in the restaurant business in Florida before moving to San Antonio in the mid-'70s. Romano's quest for the ultimate hamburger led to the creation of Fuddruckers, a phenomenal success. When he followed that with Romano's Macaroni Grill and Eatsies, Phil Romano became known as the Steven Spielberg of the food industry.
He shows up on my door, and I'm a lawyer, and he basically says, "I've got the world's greatest idea." And I said, "Okay, what's the world's greatest idea?" He says, "I'm going to make the world's greatest hamburger, and let me tell you about it." And he had this excitement about creating the world's greatest hamburger. And
I find it very easy, for some reason, to create things. I get stimulated by creating things. I'm going to create my own atmosphere. I want to give them a 50-minute, 40-minute vacation from that outside world. I don't want them to see if it's a rainy, gloomy day outside. Why do I want them to see that? I want them to come in here and be in my world, eating food that corresponds with that, and the same. What's important is authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. It's got to be as good as the day you started.
His other great creative outlet is painting. Phil Romano originals are highly sought after, and with his wife Lily, he has created Hunger Busters, a charity program that feeds thousands of the homeless in Dallas. There is always something happening with Phil Romano, and he delights in taking the path less followed.
If you went up to a doorway and everybody was going in the right side of the door, Phil would look at the door and say, "Wonder why they're doing that? Wonder what happens if I go on the left side of the door?" He thinks creatively, he thinks different, and just because it's the standard that everybody's used to doesn't mean that Phil accepts it.
Whether it's marketing, whether it's painting, whether it's a scientific medical device, whether it's a restaurant, he basically will try and do something concrete with it.
I'm a very dumb investor and a dumb businessman because I do things that the Harvard guys don't do and won't do. I don't meet a model. I'm a maverick a little bit. I go out of the box. It's got to have a point of difference to be recognized, to have attraction, to have charisma. It's got to be different.
He has had a long career with few failures and a multitude of successes. But Phil Romano is still hungry. Tomorrow may bring the best idea yet.